Thank you. Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining today's webcast, Mobile Reporting with Tableau and Power BI. So I do appreciate you taking the time to log into today's call. Quick intros, as you will be listening to us for the next 30 minutes or so. My name is Emily. I'm joined by my colleague Brendan, and we are both business intelligence and analytics consultants at Thorogood. As consultants, we provide data and analytics expertise to customers from a wide range of companies, including those in the consumer packaged goods, manufacturing, health insurance, and property and casualty insurance industries. Our contact information is on the screen here, and that is intentional. Please do feel free to connect with us should you have any questions. Agenda for today. I'm quickly going to introduce Thorogood and tell you a little bit about who we are, and then we'll move into mobile reporting. We have two demos today, one in Tableau and one in Power BI. So after a quick high-level overview, we're going to share some of what we've been working on. What is Thorogood and what do we do? We help our customers make sense of their data. We bring industry experience and domain knowledge in conjunction with technical understanding to part with our customers to design solutions with business value. Our business focus is at the forefront of what we do, whether it be within the data science, data engineering, or data visualization space. We have offices all over, which enables us to provide our services around the globe. We are broadcasting from Philadelphia today. We leverage a breadth of technologies to help our customers with their needs. We're not tied to one specific technology, and this independence really allows for a unique and unbiased view of the right tooling for the right job. We also partner with many of the vendors you see here, including Microsoft and Tableau, and this provides us with the knowledge and understanding of the latest and greatest that each have to offer. But today, we're here to talk about mobile reporting. What does that mean? Why should you care? And how is it relevant to you? Mobile reporting is a tool and a strategy that optimizes data and analytics for consumption on a mobile platform. Mobile reports will look and behave differently than traditional desktop reports. So we're not simply viewing a desktop dashboard on our phone. Why do we use mobile reports and why are they important? The digital transformation has propelled data to a position of extremely high esteem. It's arguably the most strategic asset that a business holds. Mobile reporting is a logical progression to mining the full potential of this asset. We're really putting data in the hands of everyone, regardless of technical savvy, to view and use anywhere, anytime. These reports are essentially tearing down the barriers that exist between analysts and end users. Another aspect, mobile reports ensure one source of truth. So rather than having multiple Excel sheets, emails around, and struggling with version control, all of our key metrics are in one place. These reports give us and our end users easy access to the most up-to-date metrics. And essentially, they're just instilling a confidence in what we're looking at. So how do we build mobile reports and how do we consume them? Modern BI tools such as Power BI and Tableau have features that allow analysts to design dashboards in a mobile layout. And then for consumption, these services have mobile app components. So end users download an app on their phone or tablet, connect to the server or online account that the report is published to, and then they can view the reports directly from their phone. Some considerations. Again, building these mobile reports is really a conscious, intentional effort to put the most relevant data in front of a specific audience. So we need to understand who our intended audience is and what they need to know. Generally not best practice to put every visual from a desktop dashboard onto a mobile app. A lot of that detail and granularity is often just not relevant to the end user. And with that, too much information and too many visuals can really overwhelm a mobile format. So we need to think about what our end users are seeing and how they're seeing it. There's also an ergonomic consideration with mobile reporting, as well as some of these visuals are just kind of hard to navigate on a small touch screen. All right, so we're going to switch gears and look into two demos. I'll take you through a quick Tableau report, and then I'll hand it over to Brendan. He's been working on a really cool Power BI demo. Quick high-level intro. Tableau is a visual analytics platform with a suite of products designed to help businesses and analysts understand, visualize, and then share their data. Tableau Prep is an ETL and data engineering tool. Desktop is where analysts will build out reports and start answering business questions with data. Server and online, I've kind of grouped them here, are designed to collaborate on and share reports and dashboards. And finally, Tableau Mobile is a mobile app for viewing reports. Generating a mobile report is actually going to start in desktop, and then you publish that up to either server or online, and then distribute it out to mobile users. Some features and functionalities of Tableau Mobile. Tableau has incorporated an auto format option in the desktop dashboard view. So if you have a finalized report that you're working on, you can just click this phone layout button and Tableau will automatically convert your existing dashboard to an optimized mobile layout without affecting the original dashboard or the original report. Tableau markets itself as enterprise ready, meaning that the app will keep your devices and data secure. You can select select from multiple authentication methods, including OpenID Connect, Mutual SSL, and a few others. Interactive use. So you can interact with your data through the mobile app. Filtering, sorting, drilling down. These functionalities are still available to you from your phone. You really just can't edit the actual data or the structure of the dashboard from your mobile device. Multimodal. So the auto formatting and features support use on phones and tablets, and you can also customize the size of your report really for any medium. Subscriptions and alerts. So through the app, end users can set alerts and subscriptions to see these reports. So for example, if a metric or a KPI drops below a certain threshold, or perhaps more optimistically, if it exceeds a certain threshold, you can set an alert to call that out. We're going to walk through a quick demo. In this demo, we're going to design a mobile app with insurance sales data. So this app was requested by our salespeople and our management team. They already have access to existing desktop dashboards, but they also want the ability to quickly access some sales and financial KPIs and specific visuals from their phone. Specifically, they want some regional and category-specific sales data pertaining to different products they sell, so auto, home, and health insurance. General architecture. We have an existing report in Tableau Desktop, so I'm going to start from there to build out this mobile report. Once I have it optimized, I'm going to push it up to my company's Tableau online account and then distribute it to specific mobile users. So I'm going to flip over to Tableau. So this is my Tableau desktop report. This is just a pretty basic sales report. We have current year profit, current year sales, sales by region, a sales forecast here. This cool interactive map, sales per capita. But I need to optimize this for mobile use. So on this left panel over here, there's this option for phone. So I'm going to click on that. And this is the auto formatting option. So you can see this lock icon up here. That means it's locked onto the auto formatting that Tableau has suggested for me. But going back to those considerations that we mentioned earlier about, optimizing for mobile consumption, there are some things about this that I would like to change. So I'm going to go ahead and unlock that auto formatting. And now I'm able to edit some of the stuff on the screen. So I'm actually going to get a little nitpicky with this. I'm just going to change the font size here. I'm going to center this image. This map right here, my end users really don't need this level of granularity, and the visual is going to be a little bit hard to navigate on a touch screen. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete that. I'm going to remove that. This filter right here, I want that at the top just for easy access. So I'm going to drag and drop that up there. And then this is just going to be too small for a mobile layout. My users don't really need it. So again, I'm just going to take this visual off. This is what my mobile report is going to look like. This is the final product. I'm pretty happy with this. So I'm going to go ahead and publish that up to my company's Tableau online account. We're not going to go through those steps. We are going to take a look what that is going to look like from the end user's perspective on the mobile app. All right. So once you download the Tableau app, it's just going to appear as an icon would on your phone. So right here, there's my Tableau app. So I'm just going to click on that and open up the app. This bottom menu here, there's a favorites tab, a home tab where I can see recent reports, an explore tab. I can explore my company's online profile, but I'm just going to click on the report that we just made in Tableau Desktop. It's going to take a second to sync. But it looks just as it did from my desktop view. I can still interact with it. I can use the filters as I would in the desktop report. Those cross filters are still functioning. And I can even set alerts, as I've mentioned earlier. So I want to set an alert to see when the sales falls below a certain value. So just click on that data, set a condition for that alert, and then define the threshold value. So this is generally what the app will look like from the end user's perspective. And that concludes our Tableau demo. So at this point, I'm going to hand it over to Brendan for a Power BI demo.
Thank you, Emily. So quickly before jumping into what Power BI mobile reporting has to actually offer, just a quick reminder for what the actual difference between what a Power BI report versus what a Power BI dashboard is. So Power BI report has the ability to really maximize the interactivity for a user, and it's typically more in line with what we think of like an operational report. So it typically includes a bit more detail as to like what one may sort of need from a day-to-day perspective for slicing analysis and drilling down to lower levels of granular. And there are a lot of different ways in which the data in which your Power BI reports can actually come from, like flat files, Azure services like Synapse or ADLS, and other third-party services and tools that Power BI is capable with. The dashboard, on the other hand, is really only available within Power BI service. So your visuals from your published Power BI reports can be pinned to a dashboard tile to provide, that high-level monitoring sort of view of your data. It's kind of important when we're discussing mobile tools, so a bit on that later. So in general, though, within Power BI Mobile, you're going to have the ability to view your published reports or dashboards. And this mobile tool, much like Tableau, doesn't offer the ability to do any creating or designing within the app itself, but you can view the published reports and dashboards that have been published to Power BI service by you or your coworkers. So you can sort of see that information on you. It also doesn't really matter what kind of device you're using, because the Power BI app is available for iOS, Android, and Windows devices. For iPhones and Androids in particular, though, there's that mobile view, similar to Tableau once again. So more to come on that sort of a bit later. Briefly touching on some of, the actual mobile features in action. There are just some features I just want to quickly run through. So as I mentioned, the interactivity within your published reports and dashboards will really, enable your users to see your data on the move. This includes interacting directly with some visuals by drilling up or down and even like a cross-filtering selection functionality as well on, a selection. Additionally, within some of those tiles, like I said, you can just view those data points. It doesn't really matter how many you want to view. You can view as many as which you want. You can also refresh your reports directly in your app to make sure you're getting the latest data. And obviously, you can be alerted to that data as well. One last thing that I'm going to be touching on a bit later too is something I foresee as quite valuable in the future too. That's the ability to really stream your data in real time and populate the dashboard that you can eventually view on your phone. So you don't need to be sitting at your computer to be getting that real-time interaction and data. Let me first show you the dashboard and reports that I have generated within Power BI desktop, and I've published a Power BI service here. So it's like a manufacturing sort of use case. So, data coming in here that's sort of talking about a bit, different manufacturing and production metrics. So my factory in question is producing some of these widgets. I have the amount of widgets that they are sort of producing at any given month. I'm also measuring, the total contribution that each one of my 3 machines within my factory is sort of producing, and their percentage out of 100, sort of what they're contributing to the total over time here. And I'm also interested in learning a bit more about, how the environment in which my factory is operating and, how does the temperature, how is the humidity, because these are 2 things that are important for not only for, the safety and health of my workers and the productivity of my factory as well. So, so this is just a desktop view, right? So this is something you would be able to see when you're just looking, sitting at your desk on the web interface, right? So, if I wanted to say create some sort of, mobile layout, it's quite simple to do. I have all these visuals sort of readily available, so I can drag and drop and size whoever, I sort of deem appropriate, right? Which is, obviously very useful. But for the interest of time, I've already sort of, done that. So I have all the factors and all the visuals that I'm really interested in seeing sort of on this mobile screen here. So what does that actually look like when you're sort of on your phone? Here's just a better view of that same published report that I was showing you before. Again, in landscape mode, the details are identical. Functionality remains the same. So even though some of the numbers are still pretty small, I have the ability to, zoom in on something if I want to get a better look at it, right? So it's, overall, it's going to give me that same operational view that I had on that web application, the same functionality. I can also, replicate some clicks and filtering that I would have done on the web interface, as I mentioned before, by a simple tap of the screen. And it even enables the ability to multi-select, right? So if I wanted to select, say, the summer months of what I was producing for my particular factory, June, July, and August, I can do so, and you'll be able to see how the app is sort of able to replicate that filtering that is sort of done to the rest of the visuals as you typically would be able to on the web application. So that was sort of the desktop view, right? So if you remember, I also created this mobile layout as well. And this is the mobile report. So it's built using the same visuals. So again, same functionality, same information, right? And you can really see what I've added and how they're going to be telling me, essentially the same things. So something that is pretty cool though with this is that I still have the ability to drill up and down on any visual in which I sort of deem appropriate, right? So by pressing on the screen here, I'm filtering right now, and if I just jump a bit ahead in here, you can sort of see how I'm able to drill up to, the quarter level information, for example, and have that filtering sort of act on my other visuals as it would on the web application. So another interesting, unique feature. Yeah, that's kind of it from a Power BI reporting perspective. So what about dashboards, right? You got a general sense of what's available from a published report. So what about those relevant features that are sort of available from a dashboard, particularly when we're talking about real-time streaming information? There is an important call out with respect to real-time data that's worth touching on. And that is the difference between a push and a streaming data set. So with a push data set, a new database is automatically created within Power BI service that is used to store your data. And because there is a database that's actually storing it, it means that you can have a report built on top of it, like I was showing you before. So that means creating things like visuals and filtering upon them retains the same functionality as you would previously, as I previously shown. The streaming data feed will connect directly to Power BI service. Limitation here is that because there's no underlying database that is storing this real-time data, you can't build a report off it. It's limited to exclusively dashboard tiles for monitoring purposes. And lastly, Power BI also has the ability to connect with PubNub, which is a company that specializes in real-time streaming and distribution of data, things like geolocation, Internet of Things, and much more. So it can do so in either of the real-time capabilities that I mentioned previously, so very flexible in how you want to stream your data. And lastly here, we have the recently introduced Azure Stream Analytics, and as the name suggests, provides you the ability to perform analytics on your data in real time through ingestion from Azure Event Hubs, Azure IoT Hubs, or Azure Blob Storage. So you're not only going to be able to have a constant stream of analysis ongoing with this feature, you can output that data to a dashboard, to a data warehouse, and set up alerts based on that. So from a mobile or reporting perspective, you can sort of leverage the use of these real-time streaming capabilities for monitoring purposes, right? So that kind of brings me to the use case here, right? So I think I previously shown you the operational view, which is of this previous report, which is still quite useful, right? I want to be able to evaluate my throughput of my widget production and the environmental factors as well. I want to be able to make sure that those things are up to spec. Basically, at a very high level, everything's functioning. In my factory, as you saw previously, I have 3 machines that are producing these widgets. I really want to know their performance. And I want to make sure that at all times of the day in which I'm operating, that I'm sort of hitting those nominal goals that I sort of set out to really maintain my manufacturing target and maintain the profitability that I sort of set out for my business. So knowing the productivity of these machines is going to give me that sense of if something needs maintenance or something that's not functioning properly, right? It's going to give me that added view. I also know in my factory, obviously, that temperature and humidity are critical for not machine success, right? If temperature's too high, humidity's too high, it could affect the output of my machine. So I want to make sure that anything that I can control with respect to environmental factors is able to be done. I already have that summary dashboard, which I showed previously, and that's all well and good, but from a real-time perspective, it may not function to the purpose that, it could, it's not going to give you the same thing as something in real time, right? So if one of my machines were to go down due to an increase in temperature or an increase in humidity, I need to know that immediately. And frankly, that operational report is just not going to give you that same view. It's just not going to be able to give you that information as quickly as you need it. It's certainly still important to record this for, auditing purposes or, projections and forecasting. But from a real-time actual production perspective, it may not be as important as, say, a real-time report will be. So let me just briefly show you the dashboard in which I'll be referencing next. And this information here is basically just going to be giving me a real-time view. So you just saw an update of, the efficiency of each machine over time, as well as these important environmental factors that I sort of am interested in monitoring as well. So obviously I can view this on a web interface with these, but, it's not the same sort of if the problem were to occur and I'm on, say, the manufacturing floor. So what does that sort of look like on the mobile application? You can see that those same visuals that I had just previously shown are, visible on your mobile app. And just like how they were updating in real time on the web app, they are doing the same in the mobile application. So the API that I've configured to update this real-time data set is just pushing data every 5 seconds, which may seem a bit, overkill in this sense. But to know that it can, push data, to your phone every 5 seconds is a pretty useful feature if you're dealing with something as critical as, say, production in a manufacturing plant or something. Additionally, if I wanted to even snag a more granular view of, one of these visuals, say I want to take a closer look at, that machine contribution, right? I have the ability to select the visual in its entirety and really have that sort of blow up on my visual screen. So this view here isn't too useful. It's kind of crowded. It's a bit hard to see. So that sort of leads me to what we're sort of going to see next by just simply rotating your phone to landscape mode, right? So by simply doing that, I'm sort of able to see that same visual. I'm able to drag my finger across. I'm able to get the exact timestamp for all the data in which that I need to see at any given point in time. Again, this is all in real time, though. This data is updating, every 5 seconds. So to have that ability to have it on your phone and be alerted of anything that could be going awry is something that is considerably valuable. So that's sort of how we're sort of looking to apply these mobile tools in a great way, a very interesting way too. So, but to sort of close here, mobile reporting, as the name suggests, is quite straightforward, right? So to reiterate, two of the most popular business intelligence and visualization tools out there, Tableau and Power BI, have the ability to not only present the data in your reports, but you can have that entirely separate mobile view that can really optimize the viewing experience for your users. This mobile view is going to add in a new element for users too, right? People are always carrying their phones around, myself included. So including this additional dimension just gives flexibility that may not have been able to be had before. Operationally too, if your users can monitor or be notified of something that's business critical, say a machine going down in a manufacturing plant, right? You could immediately see what the problem is and be alerted to it and hopefully resolve that problem. And lastly, coming with that availability of your data is the confidence, and that what you're seeing on your phone is painting the same picture as it would be if you were sitting behind your desk. So coupling all of that, right? Mobile reporting has to offer, really, in my view, the next step in furthering that digital transformation. So you've probably heard of it before, but digital transformation is defined as the creation or modification of these business processes through the introduction and implementation of digital technologies. And it's not necessarily limited to a particular business unit like IT or marketing or something, right? It's of really enabling these digital tools at an enterprise level to operationalize and optimize your business processes. Something that obviously I'm pretty eager, and I'm sure everyone else on the call is too, is the rolling out of these vaccines to battle this COVID-19 pandemic, right? So the virus changed an endless amount of things in our world, including the speed in which the digital transformation is being adopted. So I think the interconnectivity that people are able to have right now, working remotely, not really being able to travel in the office, is really a perfect example of this acceleration. And as a result, I can really foresee mobile reporting tools being at the forefront to instill that connectivity amongst your coworkers as we sort of return to normalcy. It's really all Emily and I had to share today. We just want to point you in the direction of some additional events that we sort of upcoming that will be running. So please feel free to reach out to Emily or myself or visit Thorogood's website if you're interested in registering for these events. But that will be all that Emily and I will be sharing today. And again, please feel free to reach out if you have any additional questions about mobile reporting or Thorogood in general. So thank you all for your time today and have a great rest of your day.